Since this is right before the fair, I have a farmer's prayer. Lord, bless the land you've given me, and may I always know I tend each crop and creature. You're the one who helps them grow. Grant me strength and wisdom. Please protect me from all harm, and thank you for the gracious gift, the blessing of the farmers. Amen.
Amen.
Gary, want to start us out?
On August 29th, for Water Resources, I approved and executed the Ohio Water Development Authority Fund Payment Request Number 22 and final for technical services by GPD Group Incorporated for the Chardon Township Wastewater Treatment Plant and Sewers Project in the amount of $47.59. And for liquor license, concurred with the Chester Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on the liquor license being requested by El Parisio Incorporated, located at 8389 Mayfield Road, Suite A8 through A13, atrium and patio in Chesterland, Ohio, which was a transfer of license.
Great, thank you. Financial? Morning, Adrian.
Good morning. Okay, today's financials include an appropriations transfer to the sheriff for miscellaneous refunds and reimbursements, web checks that were deposited into the general fund. There's a cash transfer from the American Rescue Plan Fund to Water Resources to pay for the sewer connection permit fees for residents in the Berkshire Heights development. Among the encumbrances are some travels, one from the engineer office to attend the 2022 Ohio GIS conference, and from juvenile and probate court to attend the 2022 Ohio CASA conference and the Ohio Association of Probate Judges 2022 Court Investigators Continuing Education Program. Among the vouchers are $61,130.32 from the engineer's office to Southeastern Equipment for a Cabelco SK140 SRLC-7, that's supposed to be, and attachments. $98,307.75 from the engineer's office to Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Aquila and Butternut roads, and $62,754.06 from Water Resources to Cleveland Division of Water for master meter bulk water purchases.
Okay. Any motion?
I'll make that motion. Second. Aye. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Morning.
Item 3 on the agenda today, the engineer's office is requesting to the board acknowledge recommendation to post load limits restriction on Riverview Drive structure GEA T-0380-0031. This is a bridge in Bainbridge Township on Subdivision Road, and the steel superstructure is degrading due to a loss of coating protection. It is scheduled for replacement in the next 2 to 3 years, but in the meantime, we're requesting to put a load reduction sign up to limit the damage until the bridge is replaced.
Sure. What's the stand on that?
It is 24 feet.
Is there a motion?
Do you have a motion to? I'll make that motion again. Second. Aye. Yes.
Yes.
Adrian, I just had one question here. I see for the auditors, there's lunches and drinks for.
That was for the budget commission meetings, yes.
So like so that money is coming from where?
That money came from the general fund.
So we're paying for, whose lunches are we paying for?
I have a list of those. I don't have them with me. It was everybody on the budget commission, and I believe Auditor Walter's wife as well.
So, like, we're.
And the personnel policy does permit for business meetings for you to be able to provide food for those. It's got to have a clear business purpose. They got to say what it was for and who attended, so they did do that.
So what was the total for everything during those budget hearings for food and water and drinks?
It looks like it was a little less than $100.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thanks.
Item 4 on the agenda, the county engineer's office is requesting the board award to Great Home Incorporated for the drainage improvements of Washington Street, County Highway 606, Sections C through E in Auburn and Bainbridge Township in the amount of $458,187.50. As they represented the lowest and best bid. Bid bond submitted shall serve as the performance bond for this project.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner Blair.
Yes.
Thank you. Last item today, item number 5, the county engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute change order number 3, increasing the contract with Marucci and Gaffney Excavating with Bunningsburg Road Bridge Replacement in Parkman Township in the amount of $5,635.88.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner Blair.
Yes.
Gentlemen, man, thank you.
Planning Commission. Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, shoot.
Good.
I'm not used to no drawers.
How's everything going? Good.
All right,
I'm sure we.
Oh,
they're on my desk.
I'll get the file later.
Okay. So number 6 on the agenda, this was heard at the last planning commission meeting in August. It's a replat located in Bainbridge Township, Stonebridge Colony subdivision. Straightforward, Peter Hopwood owns sublots 46 and 57, he was consolidating them. Sublot 46R and 73.134 acres.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Spillier. Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Yes.
Thanks, Amy.
No, sorry.
Did we hear back anything on the Tower property? Remember we were gonna,
I gave, I finally got the name, address, and phone number of the property owner and the title company, and I forwarded that to
Oh.
It was just last week that
Oh,
the
okay.
title company got back to me.
okay,
So it's moving along slowly.
okay, very good.
thank you.
And then we'll talk to Laura about it the other day.
Oh, please, okay. All right, I'll get that.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
You get lunch with this meeting?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have like a brunch.
Yeah, brunch.
First off, I want to start out with, you guys some sad news that one of the 2 dogs that we just retired is going to have to be put down this morning.
No, no, which one?
Minor,
Oh,
the one that wasn't here.
Here, yeah.
He just progressively got worse, and they're taking him out to the vet.
How old is he?
11 and a half.
Yeah, so he's getting up there. Oh, that's too bad. And which deputy or officer was?
Jimmy Dare.
Jim? Okay, okay, that's his dog.
This is
Okay.
their training day, so they're all going to go down there for session and take him out to the vet.
Yeah, I know that's a tight-knit community, even the surrounding PDs and other sheriff's departments, they all coordinate together and work together on that, so.
Kind of a sad day for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, that's like a family member for them.
Sure.
For sure.
Wasn't it like your second or third dog that started out with Geauga County? Something like that?
No, I don't know how many.
I remember the name for a long time.
Well, Minor was named that because he was the best man he was somebody that
Oh, cool. So how many do we have in the pipeline coming up now? Do we have a few more?
They've identified 2 dogs. That, and we're just interviewing the handlers now for the.
Gotcha. And they
They'll probably start training in October.
Okay. And they can submit for that? Is that how, like, if they're interested, they can put their name in and say, I want to do this?
Well,
Or do you?
and what happened was that when Sheriff McClellan passed,
Yeah,
all the donations were given to the canine fund.
yeah.
So we told Val that she could name the dog.
Oh, good. So we have a fund set up just for the canine, for all their equipment, for purchasing dogs.
It's all donated,
All
money
donated.
from the general fund.
Right.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that are, very supportive of that and interested in pitching it, and so,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's a worthwhile cause for sure. Well, that's sad news to hear. Yeah, please let them know that we, our condolences for sure.
We will. Okay, item number 7, we're happy to be at a meeting with the sheriff in Reeves County, and we've sold him a car before, and he was desperately looking for a transport van, personal transport van, and we said, we're happy, we're getting rid of them.
Okay.
So the fleet manager looked it up, see how much they're going for at auction, rough price, and he recommended $8,500 for this van in the 2011 Chevy. And I talked to the sheriff and went to his commissioners and got approval, and so
Great.
we're here.
And we don't have any use for it, really? You don't think you'll need
We
that?
replaced it.
Oh, yeah, okay, great. Okay, I'll second.
Commissioner Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Excellent, good, thanks so much. We'll see you, we'll see you this week.
Take care.
She had it right.
Let's do that.
Yes. Morning, Glenn.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Number 8 is for requesting the board to reject all bids submitted by the Jones County Sheriff's Office for security cameras. They failed to comply with the bid specs. So after going through everything, the team really did good going through everything and checking everything out. So
Who wrote the specification?
it was a joint between many different departments, between the sheriffs, the prosecutors, and the auditors.
Okay.
what was the spec that didn't meet,
There were many different things involved. Everything was all over the place.
Okay. Was pricing, did you get pricing back or no? Yeah. Was it high or low?
It was anywhere from 250.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna go back out for it then, reunite it? Okay, okay.
Okay, good. Is there a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
The second one is for, work on the annex, second floor, our AC unit went out there, so we're replacing that coil up there, getting that going. And also, in the last couple of months, we've had some problems with the opera house third floor. I got a quote for that. So we're gonna do both and get them all done up, especially nowadays. I gotta start looking way ahead because it's can take anywhere from months to a year to get units done.
Supply chain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supply
For
chain.
sure.
So, like I said, the opera house is not fully down, but the recommendation by our folks was, hey, let's get a new one, we're gonna start looking at that.
So just so I understand, is this a service or is this a repair?
This is replace the coil,
Yeah.
some of the units up there.
Okay.
So this is another example, when you look at it, fairly high dollars to put it into old, non-functioning, things where that's going to be a big advantage that I think we'll see here. That once again, we'll continue to dump good money on bad. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't have ever reached the agreement to do that, so. I'll make that motion hesitantly.
I'll second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
And we're gonna be looking at annex main unit. That takes care of quite a bit of the big unit up there, so that's, with things looking a year out of getting things, I gotta start looking at that now. So we don't want that unit for that.
Plus all the time that goes into all this too.
That's,
Thanks.
You all have a good day.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Lair.
Morning.
Hey,
Good.
how are you, sir?
Good. Item 10, the transfer fund is requesting the board approve, authorize the president of the board to execute the Ohio Department of Transportation. It's a subword agreement amendment under the CY 2021 bus and bus facility program. It's Department of Transportation Office Transit. It's CARES 0101-202-211-212. It's an increase from a federal grant, total of $430,814, and further authorizing the director to submit documentations electronically.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the discussion real quick. So, I know, a few weeks back, or I guess a month or so ago, the director was in, just discussing the challenges of just locating the vehicles. And, money, what we were maybe contemplating was looking at some different avenues to help maybe get us to the front line and having the money secured up front instead of waiting for grants to come in and then go place the order. Have you had any further discussion with
We did get quotes from Joanne was able to get for $100,000 or so for a couple of buses that had more than 170,000 miles on them.
some used ones?
Yeah, it was what she was talking about again, kind of the same thing. We're way overpaying for buses that are not.
Right. Yeah,
So.
because they're way beyond market value what they're charging now, so
Right.
the state bid doesn't even really make sense, right?
Well, the state bid, you go through the state bid, you gotta wait 2 years to get a bus.
Yeah, because they're all
She's
manufacturers,
trying to find,
yeah.
buses that are out there that maybe, so we're looking at that to see whether that's still even a viable option that out of the overall process.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
You might get an older bus, but it might save one of our buses, or make it
Correct.
last longer.
Correct.
So, so just so I understand clearly, this will do what then? This 430 will, secure funding for?
This is the funding for the bus replacements. My understanding that Joanna told me was that it's an increase due to the increased cost of buses.
They give us
So
an
they give
increase
us an
through the
additional
shop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the ones that, you've already ordered,
Correct.
just
Right.
because.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're giving them additional funding to cover the increase in the cost of buses.
But that's really not our problem.
And they're the ones that are, these are the buses that we're waiting on to come through
Okay.
the state bid.
Jeez, man,
Yeah.
what a problem. Okay.
All right.
Commissioner Blaze?
Thank you.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Morning, Kathleen. Hi.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board to approve and execute a service contract with Buckeye Steel. They perform our steel calibrations down in Farmland. It's for a 1-year period effective the 30th of August and not to exceed $5,000.
Okay. Second?
Aye.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Do they check it once a year, or this is for a 1-year contract?
Yes, and we're due for our check, so we're anxious to get this contract in place.
Does the county's weights and measures go out there once a year and check it? Put a label on it?
Yes. Jerry, do you know?
Yes, it's part of their scale, because it's a scale of the county, it needs to be checked by the police and measures.
And this does the calibration for it.
Is this the only scale that Water Resources has?
Yes, this is our septic receiving.
Okay.
We go by the scale first.
This is like where the trucks drive on.
Trucks drive on before they
Yeah.
discharge their septic or their sewage, and then drive on the way it got out, so they know how much going in.
My vote yes.
Great. Thanks. Or you got
Yeah, one more is we are requesting the board grant permission to advertise, giving a public notice and hold a public hearing for the proposed rehiring of David Osborne as a retirement and employment to the position of operations manager to be effective November 1st, 2022. This public hearing will be held on Thursday, October 13, 2022 at 10 a.m. The public notice for this issue, and the public hearing will be published on September 2nd, 2022 on the county website.
I will second this, but with some discussion. I'm not a big fan of this, the retire or hire. We've had different instances across the county in this for a long time, and I know this used to be a very common practice, and I know there's certain reasons for it, and I just want to be very clear as to what the reasoning is here for everyone to understand. With Mr. Osborne, he's been a longtime employee of the county for, 36 years?
6 years.
And that his expertise in this position as operations manager is what, difficult to find his replacement? Is that why we're doing
It
this?
requires a certain licensure that we don't currently have within the department that anybody replace, and the advertisement is out there, and we've only received one other application.
Okay.
And the gentleman doesn't have any licensure.
What I don't like to see is, retire or hire, and then the idea is to be, some type of short-term, to fill a gap until we do bring in somebody, get somebody to help, succession with training and bring them in, is that they end up being here for another, and I'm not saying, him in particular, but then they end up being here another 15 years
Yeah.
as a retire or hire, right? So that, I think the strategy is what, to find his replacement, he helps bring them in and tutor them, and get them to a point where then he can
Correct.
truly
Yeah,
retire.
so they can be out, and we're not without an operations manager for
Yeah,
2-3
Which
years.
that part I-
2-3 years while we try to find
I
somebody to
understand.
replace him.
I understand. And are we gonna be, aggressively looking for his replacement now then, start that process?
Yeah, and still trying to bring guys up within
Within the-
the licensure.
And that's what I was gonna ask next. Is there guys that are interested in, making that transition? Like if they're, say at a different level, are they guys from within the department willing to come up and start learning?
We do have some quality individuals within the department, unfortunately, where we've lost his people over time, who we thought could be his replacement, have gone to other
Okay,
areas.
Okay.
So
okay.
we're trying to kind of,
I don't know if
I
there's.
don't want to make this public, but kind of see if those guys will come back.
Right. I mean, I guess, I don't know if you can do this or not, but, I think there should be some type of moratorium or some type of time limit on these things, because, what happens, I think, is, and again, I'm not gonna accuse this particular case, but I've seen it where, retire or hire, and then it's just, whatever happens, it doesn't seem like there's a game plan to fill it up, backfill that.
This is very much like we did with the building department with Larry.
Okay,
Kind of
Yep.
waiting
I understood
a
that.
little more time to stay in, just so we can find his replacement.
Okay. Okay.
Financially, is there any savings with the retired hire? In other words, we don't pay into his pension, or what do we do? What don't we do?
I know he's taking a pay cut for one thing, so it's the savings on the salary. And then he still contributes to OVERS, but it goes into a different.
Goes into the
We still have the old.
annuity? Does it go into an annuity?
Right, it goes into a different bucket, that's the only way, I know it's a different place, but everything's still, we can still pay for health care once he's eligible for that. And like I said, I just know he is taking a pay cut.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we do a good job of a case-by-case basis, but I don't think it's a habit that you want to get into.
No, we're always looking for that, not just our resources, but other departments, as we see people getting close to that, we're trying to find people
Yeah.
who could step up into those positions. Unfortunately, like with water resources,
It's
the
been
guys
tough.
that we thought could do that have gone elsewhere.
Okay, okay. All right, thanks. Hey. Aye.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Years. Did you get all the cards from all the kids?
I had 25.
Unbelievable.
You got that many, did you?
I got, wow. The one family's got 9 more years. Wow.
Two kids come in my front door.
Did they?
Okay, the tears have already started to flow. The tears have already started to flow.
Oh, yeah. The project's coming in now.
Yep.
Okay,
So this is a resolution honoring the Geauga County Agricultural Society and Fair Board on the 200th anniversary of the Great Geauga County Fair. Whereas Geauga County is very much rich in history, the fair is no exception. In February 1823, the first Agricultural and Manufacturing Society was formed, and the very first fair was held on August 23rd, 1823, as a fair and cattle show lasting one day on Jordan Square. Whereas early on, the fairs were held every other year in Burton and Chardon, with at least one being held in Kingsville before Lake County was formed. Since the mid-1800s, the fair has been held in Burton when the county fairgrounds were established. Whereas the Geauga County Fair is known as Ohio's oldest continuous fair, despite facing national conflicts many times, including the Civil War, Spanish War, 2 World Wars, the Great Depression, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, along with various hardships, including droughts. The fair pushed on and persevered even through the current pandemic. Whereas in 1938, the first junior fair was initiated and held during the fair for area youth to exhibit and proudly show their livestock and other textiles. Whereas currently the Geauga County Fair is governed by a board of fair directors that represent the 16 townships within the county, with 5 additional directors elected at large to oversee policy and appoint the auxiliary members to assist with exhibit buildings, entries, and judging during the fair. Whereas the Geauga County Board of Commissioners honor the continued dedication and hard work of the Agricultural Society and Fair Board for continuing the tradition and celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Great Geauga County Fair.
Awesome.
Great.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Big moment.
So I messaged Paula because I keep hearing something about parade tomorrow.
I heard something about it, but I didn't,
So I'm not quite sure.
nothing in writing that I was seeing.
Yeah, I know that there's plans for one, but I asked Paul for specific details about it. I haven't gotten an answer yet. Obviously, I know he's busy with everything that was going on. So, but they asked that all the elected officials, past commissioners that were invited, and you guys to be at the main grandstand at 11:30 tomorrow in preparation of the ceremony at noon. And then the concessions and such don't open until 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
and it is
no
free
brunch.
tomorrow
No brunch.
for entry. So you have to wait until 1 for your lemonade, that's all,
Okay.
Okay.
or your milkshake.
So we'll be at the county fair tomorrow, 11:30, main grandstand. Jerry, do you have anything else?
Yes, I do actually, sorry. We did receive the notice, or from Myers Roman, from Emily, for a separate engagement letter to be the commissioner's legal for the Board of Elections lawsuit. So I have that here. It has not been certified yet. We have to one of the things in financials was transferring money, so that now we have that. I'm asking the board to approve me to sign this once we get it certified.
Okay. And so,
This would make her the commissioner's legal counsel for the Board of Elections case.
okay, and this is due to the prosecutor, Geauga County recusing himself
Yes,
for some reason?
he recused himself utilizing the issues with the EDD board. This is recent.
Okay, and then as far as filing a joint application for us to go out and get outside legal counsel, he wouldn't sign that?
Refused to
Refused to sign
yeah,
it
to sign the application.
for the commissioners to go get legal counsel?
He said the commissioners had the authority to do it through, I forget what section of the Ohio Revised Code,
Okay,
on their own, and that's what he was.
and we can do up to the amount of his salary or something?
That's the problem with going this route,
Yeah,
is we're limited to that being the amount of his salary, his benefits package and everything. But as opposed to with an outside with an appointed counsel through the court, the joint application, there's no limit on that. So my opinion is that, with the way that's set up in the Ohio Revised Code, the 2 different routes, is that the section he's requiring us to utilize is really for commissioners to obtain legal advice, not legal counsel, or not actually being the attorney for regarding the lawsuit, because it has that limit on it. The purpose of the appointed counsel is for lawsuits.
Okay, interesting. Well, we'll have to keep track of every last penny on that.
We are.
And then, I don't know where that funds will come from ultimately. You know, whose budget that comes out of. or-
Ultimately, we may have to file with the court to have the court appoint the outside counsel for the commissioners regardless of the application process.
Okay. So hopefully,
Cost more money.
hopefully these matters go quickly and we don't have to spend that much money on it.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, to appoint the motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
I have one more question for you. We have received that liquor license from Easy Oil Corporation on Kinsman Road in Newbury Township. It has a postmark date of September 2nd for a hot division of liquor control. I faxed the request to Newbury, didn't hear anything, so I emailed Ms. Sustar, their fiscal person. She responded to me yesterday and said that the trustees voted to take no action, and she was supposed to fax me their copy of the form that we received from Division of Liquor Control. I have yet to receive it, but we're under a time crunch, so I'm requesting that based on her email, that you will concur with Newbury Township and not requesting a hearing on the liquor license, so we can move forward and meet the deadline.
Okay. You don't need a motion for that?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Yes. Public comment?
Mike Bell, Brookshire Heights residents. I've been receiving some emails I've been monitoring, and I understand that Mr. Walter requested to be put on today's agenda. Question one was, did you receive the request in time for him to be put on this agenda? And if it was ignored or not processed, why was he not put on the agenda?
Gary?
We did receive the request for him to be put on the agenda, however, there was nothing along with it on what he wanted to talk about, or what he wanted to, any documentation about what he was going to present.
Okay, so it was received on time and processed per the commissioners?
The email request, yes, it was not an official motion request or anything along those lines, or what he wanted to talk
He
about.
has it.
Normally, what, they fill out a...
Yeah, we have a formal request for action form that's completed by department, and they have to attach documentation to what it is that they are requesting and why they want to be on the agenda. I just got an email request asking for Chuck to be on the agenda to talk about Chardon Township wastewater treatment plant.
Okay,
So
so
not a
I have
formal-
no idea
the
what that's
official
about.
forms were not filled out then?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Diane Jones.
State-
Thank you. Diane Jones, Auburn Township. Jerry, okay, I need a little bit more information. As usual, your voice was too low for me, or my ears are simply too bad. So in reference to your comment about legal representation in the Board of Elections case, again, specify the name of Commissioner's Counsel and the legal entity that she represents.
The legal firm is Myers Roman.
MEYERS?
Let me just double check.
MEYERS, yes.
MEYERSROMAN.
Okay, and her full name again,
Her name
please?
is Emily, AMILY, Imbrogno. IMBROGNO.
Is that the North Canton firm?
No, they are on Chagrin Boulevard.
Okay. Thank you. And has she received a retainer? And if so, how much?
The only thing we have received is the engagement letter, and that was what they were authorizing me to sign once it's been certified. We have to transfer money today, and it will be certified for $50,000.
Thank you.
Mike Behery, with Chardon Township.
Linda Carey had sent a letter to, I believe, to Jerry Morgan, discussing the letter that she'd gotten back from the U.S., I think, Department of Treasury. In fact, she's followed up several times, I'm told. Have you received that communication? And
I have not had a chance to completely review it and get back to her yet.
okay, because it's been weeks. But your intention is to
I will
respond?
Yes, I need to verify what was in that email with regards to what's in the federal rules.
Is there anything else you need from her? She's working today.
I'm not at this time.